Hello everyone!
Hello.
Today's video is very special for two reasons. First of all, as you can see, Spyros has joined me in front of the camera for the first time.
And the reason for that is that for the first time we are doing a playthrough.
For those two reasons, we wanted a game that is simple, fast and fun to play, so we chose River Valley Glassworks. At first, we'll spend a couple of minutes going through the very basic rules and then we will go through all the details as we play the game.
So let's get straight into it.
Okay, so we've finished the setup here, we are ready to play. We have placed all the glass pieces in the bag here, apart from the black ones. These are only used in a 5-player game. We have randomly placed the river tiles on the river, and then we have randomly drawn from the bag glass pieces to place on each river tile, according to the number of stones that the river tile has. We have also filled the lake with 5 glass pieces, also randomly drawn from the bag, and we have each drawn 3 glass pieces to put in our pans. Finally, we've chosen the first player randomly, and it's me. So, during the game, we will keep taking turns, starting with me, doing one of two things in our turn. We will either pay with glass pieces from our pans into the river to take other glass pieces from the river to place in our glassworks, or we can take glass pieces from the lake to fill our pan if we need more glass pieces. When we pay with glass pieces from our pans into the river, only the shape matters. When we take glass pieces from the river into our glassworks, only the color matters. There are currently 8 different colors in the game. It is 9 in a 5-player game and 6 different shapes. Not all colors are of the same rarity. The rarity is included here on your player board as a player aid, and that's important when trying to strategize for taking more points throughout the game. Once a player has placed at least 17 glass pieces on their player board on the glassworks, the game's end is triggered. You finish the round, making sure that everyone has taken the same amount of turns, and then you take one more round around the table. After that, it's time for final scoring. I think that's enough information for now. We can start the game, and of course we will explain everything as we play as well. So I'm ready to take my first turn, and for my first turn I will place 1 glass piece from my pan into the river to take glass pieces for my glassworks. When doing that, you have to take 1 glass piece and place it into the matching river tile based on the shape. So this triangle goes into the river tile with a triangle shape. Then you choose one of the adjacent river tiles and take all the glass pieces it contains. In this case, I will choose these 2. Now that I have my glass pieces, I am ready to place them into my glassworks. You can see that the different colors have different rarities based on this chart here. So the blue, the dark blue, both blues are more common than the greens. And based on that information, I will place the green in the first column and the blue on the second column. When placing glass pieces into the glassworks, you have to start from left to right. Each column has to have only glass pieces of the same color, so I couldn't have done that, for example. Each color has to be placed in a different column, and you always go from left to right, bottom to top. At the end of the game, the height of each column matters because you score your highest columns, and the columns on the right, as you can see here, score a lot more points than the columns on the left. That's why I chose to put the common color on the right, because technically it's more likely now to fill this column instead of this, which will give me more points at the end of the game. Of course, there is more to that as we'll go through the game, but that's my initial thought. I also have to move my little meeple here to the number 2 to count the number of glass pieces I have in my glassworks, because you have to keep in mind that once a player reaches 17 glass pieces, the end game is triggered, so you have to keep counting your glass pieces in your glassworks. Now that I'm done with this part, I take the river tile I just emptied and place it at the end of the river, sliding everything so that they can fit on the mat. We are now ready to refill this river tile, and this is done by randomly drawing glass pieces from the bag, and the number depends on the number of stones on the next river tile now. So I take these 2, place them here, and Spyros is ready to play.
My turn now is to place the orange heart here. Take these 2 guys and place them here. Move my rosy meeple on the 2. Moving the river tile and adding 2 pieces here, glass pieces here.
It's my go again. And I will choose to place this rhombus shaped glass piece into this matching river tile and take these two pieces. Again, with the same thought process, I will place them like so. I now have 4 glass pieces in my glassworks, so I move the meeple here and we refill the river. The reason we mostly take tiles from the river in our first turns is because you can have a maximum of 5 glass pieces in your pan, and when you refill from the lake you have to take 4. So if you take the 4 and you can't fit them in your pan, you have to place the extra tiles in the overflow, which is here. This scores negative points at the end of the game, and it's negative 3 points per piece that is in your overflow. So we try to avoid taking pieces if we can't fit them in our pan. From now on, because I have only 1, the option is there without losing points at the end of the game.
Okay, let's play the 5-sided here and take the white and the orange. Place them here, moving again river tiles, replenish with 2, moving rosy here.
So now I have 2 choices. I can either place the heart here and take these 2 glass pieces, or I can refill my pan, but I do like this option, so I'll do this for now. Now that I have a piece of a color that already exists in my glassworks, I will place the piece here, I have to, and then I'll place the new color on the next column. Keep in mind that there are 8 colors in total in the game, 9 when playing with 5 players, and there are only 7 columns in your glassworks. So at some point, if you take a color that you cannot fit in your glassworks because of that, or you take a glass piece that you can't fit because of the height of the column, these pieces also go into the overflow and score negative points at the end of the game.
Okay, now I have the option to put the circle here, but I don't like it because I will fill my first column with many purple and I don't want it now because it is low points here. So my second option is to take 4 glass pieces from the lake, and I don't want the second circle one, so I will take these 4 and put them in my pan, and this is my turn.
Because he didn't take the second circle, he now has more variety for future turns. And we fill the lake randomly as normal. I took too many. Okay. And I just noticed that I didn't move the beaver earlier. I have 2, 4, 6 pieces in my glassworks now, so I'll place it here. And I don't have a choice to pay and get glass pieces from the river. I have to refill, and it seems like I have a lot of options here. I think I'll just leave the blue like that, and I will refill the lake.
Great, now I have many glass pieces. I will play this one here, take all these 3, place the orange here, green here and the blue here. I got 3 pieces, so I go to 7, moving the tile, and replenish with 2 pieces because there are 2 stones here.
Now that we have refilled our pans, we have a lot of variety, so we have many options to choose from the river. But there is an extra rule in case you don't like what you have or what you can get from the river. Alternatively, instead of placing just 1 glass piece on the matching river tile, you can place any 2 glass pieces on any of the river tiles and then take glass pieces from the adjacent river tiles. The downside to that is that you place a lot of glass pieces into the river, so another player may take advantage of that by taking a lot of glass pieces. For now though, I think that I like the option of placing the circular one here and taking these 3, because I don't have any purple in my glassworks, and that means that I kind of start creating a high column right here, which is a lot of points, and the pink is a common color, which means that it's likely that this may happen until the end of the game. I also now have a total of 9 glass pieces, so I move the beaver.
Okay, now I want to go for these three, so I don't have this one that looks like a bean, so I will go with a triangle and get these three. Green here, orange here, light blue here. So one more to replenish because one stone. And now I have 3, 6, 9, 10.
Okay, so I want to make my purple column as high as possible, which means that I would like to take these two. And I have two options for that because I have both adjacent shapes. And while this one would make more sense because I would be giving Spyros less glass pieces, I feel that if I place the 3 light blue glass pieces here, he won't like them because it's just his second column, so I'll do that instead. I'll take these two. Orange is the last color I can fit in my Glassworks, and the one I am missing is the light blue. So if I take any light blue glass pieces from now on, they will go into my overflow. I have to be careful about that. And I have a total of 11 glass pieces in my Glassworks now.
My options now are plenty, but I want to go with the yellow and the white because I want to place the yellow here. So I will place the blue here and take these two, yellow, white, and I believe Mito now, because these are 4, but she doesn't want to take these 3 because they will go to her overflow. So I
He's
think
correct.
I'm safe now. And moving the tile again, place one piece here and moving 2 here.
We have talked about the column scoring a lot, but we haven't talked about the row scoring. Rows score from left to right when they don't have gaps, which means that for both of us now, only the bottom row would score, and it would score 22 points. Because the second row is empty on the first slot, so it doesn't even start, it's 0 points. Ideally, Spyros would like to have a pink here to score this row as well, and I would like a dark green, but my second row is not looking that good anyway, so we'll see how that will go. As for my options right now, he was right that I don't want this one because it will score me negative points instead of positive ones. And I think that I will very reluctantly place this one here, take the 2 whites because they're not too bad if I score these 2 columns at the end of the game. And I took 2, so I now have a total of 13.
And now that I believe that I'm safe to place glass pieces here, I will place these 2 here and I will take these 4.
That was not a bad choice.
12 and 4, 16, so probably in the next round, maybe not in the next round because I don't have glass pieces.
But soon the game will be over.
Yeah.
The timing of the endgame trigger is not that great for me either, because as soon as the endgame is triggered, whoever has fewer than 3 pieces in their Glassworks get a free refill, so to speak. They get glass pieces from the bag so that they end up with exactly 3 in their pan. But I would have to refill before that happens, which means that I don't want to play this one here because it won't give me anything great, and instead I will choose 4 pieces from the lake to refill my pan. And based on what is in here, I will just leave the yellow out because it's a shape that I already have, and I'd rather this one get in the game instead of the yellow. Refill with 4. It would have been nice to get a free refill, but since I wasn't getting one, at least I got to pick first.
Okay, so I will take these 4 pieces here.
And we refill the lake, even though we know that these pieces will not be used by the end of the game. And now I go. It's a struggle because I don't have many good choices. I think I'll use this one here and take these 2 just to get a nice...
No!
Oh, indeed, I didn't. Excellent. So I will have a nice tall purple column right here in the end, and I hadn't noticed, but now I did, that this purple was perfect for Spyros. I said it earlier, but I forgot about it. But yeah, obviously it was a very strategic choice and not a random one. Oops.
Oh, a purple one.
Of course.
And a yellow one. Well, that was excellent.
He probably looked into the bag before
No,
trying
I didn't.
those.
Putting this here and getting the purple and the yellow. Awesome.
And the game is over, yes?
Yes, I'm on 18.
I forgot to move the beaver as well earlier, but it doesn't matter anymore. This is not important anymore. It's just a countdown for the game's end. But since it was Spyros who triggered the end of the game and I was the first player, we will just take one turn each for the final round now. So I know that this is my final choice. Sadly, I think that my only choice now is this one here, to take the poor white thing. And I know that I've lost the game, but it's fine.
We will see.
I mean, look at this situation here. It looks much better than this, doesn't it?
I'm an expert.
He is indeed.
Okay. I don't have an option to get a bigger, at least a good row here to get more points. And the only option is to get higher these two. So I will just place this here and get this 4. Here, here, here.
Also on the very last turn, he could have placed anywhere because placing 2 glass pieces in the river is not important anymore since the game is over and it doesn't matter if it's a good supply or not. And that's the end of the game. We will make some room to count the final scoring. Okay, so we move things around a bit because the main board doesn't matter anymore and we are ready to score. The game does not come with a score pad, so we use our own little score sheet here. So first we score our rows. You can see here that there are points marked at the bottom of each player board, and starting from the bottom row and going up, you start from the left and find your first gap. So for this first row I have no gaps, which means that it is a complete row and it scores the full 22 points. My second row hasn't even begun though, so that's all for the rows for me. Spyros, on the other hand, has 2 complete rows and only his third one has not begun. So it's a total of 22 points times 2 for 44. Just for the record, if he was able to take one more purple glass piece and place it here, this row would also score 16 points, which would have been insane. But in any case, let's move to the columns. You check the columns in your Glassworks and pick the 2 tallest ones and score those based on the number on the top glass piece that was placed in the column. So for me, it's a total of 20 plus 24, 44 points. If there was a tie, if for example I had a blue one here, I would have to score the 2 leftmost ones. So it would have been 8 and 20, 28 instead. That's why we want the tallest columns on the right of the Glassworks, but we also want nice rows. For Spyros here, the orange column scores 15 points and the white 16 for a total of 31. None of us had any pieces in their overflow, so that's nothing. And I have a total of 66 points and Spyros has a total of 75.
Woohoo!
Which means Spyros won. And by a good amount as well.
And that's it. Let us know if you liked the video and if you have any feedback or any questions about the rules.
If you did enjoy the video, leave a thumbs up before you go and subscribe for more videos like this. We hope to see you in the next one. Until then, bye.
Bye.